This is a review of the Ultra Pro Deluxe Gaming Trove, the Gamegenic Card Slayer 600, as well as the Ultimate Guard Omnihive. These three products are very, very different, and yet they are trying to do one thing that is the same, which is offer you the best protection for your collection of everything from cards to deck boxes to even playmat tubes and perhaps other board games. Which box is right for you might depend upon your needs, as many different players have many different expectations. However, some of these products are better than others, so let's take a look. Let's begin with the Ultra Pro Deluxe Gaming Trove, which according to the company features a quote-unquote heavy-duty fabric shell, along with 5 modular inserts to allow for custom storage options. Well, it's plastic on the inside. Flimsy, thin plastic. You know those $5, $3 basic deck boxes? That's what the plastic's made out of, the thinnest kind. The Gaming Trove has slats on the bottom and throughout each column wall, and you're supposed to kind of poke them into place. Maybe if this was, like a thick, heavy-duty plastic. Do you remember the dragon's egg? Where it would click into place and everything would be held secure and firm. But it's so flimsy that even once you get the slot into the hole, it keeps slipping out. There's certainly a lot of choices for where you can put your 5 dividers in the paper-thin plastic shell. And I hope this doesn't look like one of those infomercials where I'm struggling to do a basic thing, but they really did keep popping out. I was amazed at how flimsy and thin it was, and here's that heavy-duty canvas bag. It's a canvas bag. There's no protection here. You might as well just put your cards in a paper bag, like from the grocery store, because as soon as this gets shoved in your trunk, in your overhead compartment, there's going to be trouble. I just don't see how any of this is going to withstand even the slightest of pressure. And I know I'm not supposed to look at price as any type of determining factor. We're only examining quality. But the price on this is $35.99. $35.99. Why you would get this over a quiver is beyond me. You can choose to store cards in here or deck boxes. Honestly, me stuffing this full of Ultimate Guard boulders is increasing the structural integrity of the Trove by a lot. There's just no way this offers any heavy duty. How can they call it heavy duty? How can they charge $35.95 for this? It's no better than the free canvas tote bag that the hippie co-op grocery store gives you to carry your cage-free eggs and kombucha home in. In fact, it's a little worse. I see absolutely no positive here, and all I see is a D- product that is just begging for me to fail it outright, but I reserve fails for the worst of the worst. And this does not deserve such a distinction. It's that pathetic. It doesn't even deserve the fail grade. D-, do better, Ultra Pro. Next from Ultimate Guard is a Xenoskin-tastic new Omnihive. Fans of the various archive variations over the years will really enjoy what's inside these, but first, a quick word about what can now be inside these, the Sidewinders 133 Plus. I've reviewed Sidewinders several times in the past on the channel, and I'm not going to get into a detailed review here. However, Ultimate Guard is now offering Sidewinders in 133 Plus card storage, which essentially makes them one of the largest card capacity deck boxes on the market. This is 100 cards double sleeved with Dragon Shield sealable inner sleeves. Do you use Dragon Shield sealable inner sleeves? Or perhaps KMC Perfect Cards? Frustrated that no deck box can hold either? Well, these new size options for Sidewinders will fit that and more. Look here. Again, this is 100 cards in Dragon Shield sealable inners and Dragon Shield thick art matte sleeves and a lot of foils. There's room for a heck of a lot more inside this deck box. So if you do have a lot of foils, if you do have KMC Perfect Hard sleeves, if you do just have a Locust God EDH deck and a million billion tokens, then Ultimate Guard has a new size option for you. But just because I've reviewed the Sidewinder at length before doesn't mean that this new, larger size is going to go without a proper shake. test. You know, the shake test isn't everything. Again, I have reviewed these as to quality. If you want to hear me talk about them for 7 minutes plus straight, you can rewatch those videos. They are excellent. The deck boxes, not the videos. The videos are excellent too. So aside from these having an extra large capacity, there's nothing new or unique here. I'd like to move on to what's new and unique about the Ultimate Guard Omnihive. The Ultimate Guard Omnihive is much more than a double row archive, though at first it might appear to be just that. Featuring 2 rows that can each hold 500 plus double-sleeved cards for 1,000 plus total for the Omnihive. The box is also capable of carrying a myriad variety of Ultimate Guard deck boxes, from sidewinders to boulders and more. The Omnihive also comes with 2 removable compartments for dice, counters, or even cards and tokens. Each of those compartments can hold about 50 single-sleeved cards, which is really cool. But what I really like is that there's no built-in divider for those trays to rest on, meaning that if you take them out, you free up a lot more space for deck boxes. Now again, you can put 500 double-sleeved cards, or a little more, in each of those columns, but for those who would like deck boxes, well, you can store 10 100-plus Ultimate Guard boulders. That means you can have 10 commander decks in here. There's a little bit of extra room on the side. I wish it was a bit more of a snug fit. It's not enough to get that compartment in. And while this isn't a problem of the Omnihive, I'm going to point out that the various configurations for Ultimate Guard products don't quite fit as snugly as you might think. If you'd like, you can also place 12 80-plus boulders, 14 60-plus boulders, 800-plus sidewinders, 6 133-plus sidewinders. There's a lot of options. But hey, I love that I can just put playmats in here. You can roll up about 4 playmats on each of those columns for a big thick roll, or just take the compartment out and stick in, you guessed it, an Ultimate Guard mat pod. Thank goodness, we've looked at products in the past with a compartment for a playmat that didn't have room to hold cards or deck boxes. And since I say, many different players have many different needs, locking people into having a compartment just for a playmat is as problematic as having a compartment that won't fit a playmat. So the Omnihive takes care of that, and the cost is just a little bit of jiggling of your Ultimate Guard products. Now, while you can fit some other standard-sized deck boxes in here, the box is really precision-made for Ultimate Guard products. So much so that if you put those sidewinders on their side, the box isn't going to close, which means that any deck boxes that are not up to Ultimate Guard's dimensions are going to result in, well, a failure to close. I guess this is the equivalent of proprietary design. I'm not a big fan of it. We've looked at other similar products before that attempted to go large to allow for any of your deck boxes to fit, and I think I preferred that philosophy. This, of course, while perhaps irritating, is not any type of con for the product, but I'll show you something that does concern me. It's that darn latch. Look at it. Oh, it's even not level here. Like, it's kind of falling off. I've had trouble with these Ultimate Guard latches in the past. Previous reviews have seen them work and fail, and with this large of an Omnihive, I find myself wishing that we had just gone the route of something a lot deeper and more secure. So besides my concerns with the latch, the only other drawback to the Omnihive is perhaps just this enormous cover flap, which is always going to take up a lot of your play space, meaning that if you've got this on the table at your local game store, it always needs to be closed unless you are loading or unloading it. Otherwise, well, where else? I guess you could play on it. I don't really want to with that flap. Most products have a flap such as this. It's really only Gamegenic that I've seen so far. I think Legion had one product that did it, that had a flap that wrapped around. I am obviously a fan, but the real issue is that latch. I have in here 4 deck boxes filled with my own decks, including 2 of the 133 sidewinders, and I thought about doing this with decks as well. I decided let's put in a playmat tube, be a little fair. I've had a video with this Ultimate Guard latch where it popped open. I had another where I think perhaps it received a slight redesign where it stayed shut. Does a product this size even need to stay shut to a shake test? It's not a necessity, but it's a good sign. And so, as always, I'm going to say that if we can just lift this up right off the bat, that's nice, because it means that if you just kind of grab it up off your table, oh, it didn't fall out. If I shake this very vigorously, will it all come falling out? Probably eventually, but the fact that it just did this in my book, yeah, I had that one video. Look at that. Will it pop open if I drop it on the floor? Probably. It's really heavy, but oh wow. Hey, my qualms with the latch aside, the proof, as they say, is in the pudding, and I think that I've seen a lot worse. Because I have. At the end of the day, the Omnihive may just be one of the perfect accessories for someone with a lot of Magic the Gathering decks, and a desire to perhaps take multiple playmats with them, or have compartments for dice, counters, tokens, or any variety of configurations. Though I've seen the MSRP listed at $69.99 on many online sellers, I also see it available at $59.99, though that appears to be at a discount. Even at the $59.99 range, that is a high price, but you are getting a huge storage device here. I had been on the border of a B+, but that latch really performed well. I'm gonna say it could use some fine polish, but this is an A-, an excellent product. That, yes, is still shy of perfection. Next up is the Games Lair. That's Lair, not Slayer, 600+. And unlike the previous Games Lair that we reviewed from Gamegenic, this one actually is trying to be an all-in-one solution for everyone from Magic the Gathering players to just board gamers. Have you ever wondered what Batman's utility belt would look like as a deck box? Well, I think it might not be too different than the Games Lair 600+. Capable of holding 600+ double-sleeved cards, every aspect of the Games Lair converts into some form of function, such as the removable lid being able to convert into a dice tray, with magnets holding the corners up to create a nice box, to a removable and customizable divider, and myriad of internal compartments. I've heard many Magic the Gathering players not like the idea of having to keep their cards loose inside a box like this, and that of course is what the removable internal divider is for. While many different deck boxes might jiggle loose inside of this, at least it holds them. And not one, not two, not three, but 4 removable internal trays that can hold everything from counters to notepads to larger game pieces, and well, whatever your requirements are. See what I mean about this being a multi-card utility box? I can't even begin to get into the myriad of games out there, from Villainous to Dominion, to perhaps Warhammer gaming figures, that could all find some use for this cool gaming box. The first thought that came to my mind was using it as a perfect storage solution for my cube, with all the removable trays being great for my special set-specific tokens. And of course, like all Gamegenic boxes, the removable lid with the nub-in slot system means that you are perfectly utilizing your game space while keeping all of your cards secure. One of the things that really strikes me about the Cardslayer 600 is that it's such a multi-purpose gaming accessory box. This isn't just for your Magic the Gathering cube, though obviously it could be. You can even adjust the interior divider if you've got a board game that might need larger pieces, or if you remove it entirely, as I know many Magic the Gathering players like to have a place for their deck boxes. Here, of course, they can. Notice neither of these two deck boxes is made by Gamegenic, but Gamegenic obviously is non-proprietary in their design, as this is just a large, and yeah, there's some jiggle room in there, but at least I can put my thick Sidewinder, my Ultra Pro Tower. Oh, that's a nice fit. I could have another one on top of that. I've got my friend Crossbow Gaming, who makes these A-quality custom wooden deck boxes. You can check out my review there. Bit of a snug fit. That's probably not a good idea. Well, it doesn't fit everything, okay, but it'll fit a boulder. And you know, if I'm going down to the game store and I want to bring a booster box for draft, that fits as well. It's a nice little part. I've seen a lot of products over the years that are meant to fulfill a specific function, and that's great. But the Card Slayer 600 seems to have only the function in mind of high capacity and high organization. You can take this and, based on your needs, adapt it to suit them. And I think there's a lot of players out there, not just of Magic, that are going to find that they can get a big mess of their gaming supplies all organized and in one place with the Card Slayer. Materials are top quality. Magnets, though we still don't know how they work, they're like some kind of miracle, are strong and secure, and allow the various trays and compartments to pop open to give access to the cards inside. Got a Plane Chase deck? Stick it in that top tray. Got some Ultimate Guard boulders? This can hold them too. But how well does it hold them? One of the many things that has impressed me with Gamegenic products over the years is how every last bit of it seems to be designed for the gaming experience. The way that the dice tray, think of, we don't want you to turn it upside down to get your cards out, and so we're going to have a side come down so that you can access your cards easily. Right down, of course, I've mentioned this in just about every review, but I love how the lid wraps around so that we don't have this giant area. I can have this open to go get, imagine a game of Dominion, never mind Magic the Gathering, where I have my cards in here, or any myriad of board games, and in order to access this, I have this flap that has to be on the table. It's just so much better, in my opinion, for what that is worth, to be able to have one of these wraparound flaps, and I'm very sold on them. Obviously, will it hold? I've got a full, oh, they're not even in deck boxes. I just had to pick up 2 of my extra thick Commander decks. I have this vague memory of Gamegenic saying to me, now this wasn't made to turn upside down. Please don't. Should I do this? Whoa! Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. Hey, what can I say? I love the nub. The Card Slayer 600 Plus is the same price as the Omnihive. Like I said at the beginning, both products are looking to do the same thing, but in very different ways. I do not see that as a problem, but an advantage to us as players. I do feel the Card Slayer has a lot more refinement than the Omnihive. There's a lot more to it, and that complexity has a real precision and quality. And I think this is a solid, enthusiastic A. So at the end of the day, in many ways, the choice really is yours. Which of these 2 products best meets your needs? There's no easy answer, as, again, different players have different priorities, expectations. I actually am always happy when I see very different products like this, because it means that there's going to be something out there for everyone. And when I look back over my 9 years of gaming accessory reviews and think back to the early days when all deck boxes kind of looked alike, when there really wasn't much in the way of deluxe gaming cases such as these, where players who played everything from Cube to Commander, or just wanted a gauntlet of modern decks to have a home, had no other choice than the basic deck box. I am thrilled to see so many companies step up, and I'm excited to see what that next step will be. With tap Stark to destroy your own Darksteel Citadel, an indestructible artifact land. With that still on the stack, untap Stark using either 1000-year Elixir or Magerite Stone. Then tap Stark again to destroy your opponent's creature or artifact. Your opponent's creature or artifact will be destroyed, and they will gain control of Stark. But the destroy trigger for your Darksteel Citadel will then resolve, giving you back control of Stark And, of course, since Darksteel Citadel is indestructible, you've lost nothing in the process. Other good targets for Stark's ability are, of course, Darksteel Pendant and Darksteel Ingot. Though with this deck, don't be afraid to destroy your own stuff, or just sacrifice Stark to avoid giving him away to an enemy.